'Cause we got a great big convoy rocking through the night. And, well, that should be in a British accent, shouldn't it be? This is the rubber dog. I'm about to put the hammer down. 10-4, good buddy. And I'm really showing my age there as we have our continuing playthrough of Atlantic Chase, the second two-player scenario being played solo, called First Test, 1939, early in the war. What's happened so far? Not a whole lot. We have the battle cruisers, the Scharnhorst and Gneisenau it looks like they're going to make it into the Atlantic and do some hunting. Well, meanwhile, the Graf Spee is on his way to hopefully complete in Germany. Notice how I ducked pronouncing the German there. And unfortunately, they had to pass to the British. And now the British are going to decide what they're going to do. And just for fun, I think we're going to go ahead and get the French into the action here. We're going to send them after the Graf Spee, see what they can do. Like so. And like so. And also while we're at it, I think we will start the British's second convoy out of Africa. And you'll notice them hugging the coast there, so if the Germans do come after them, they'll have to come into air range. And finally, let's take a run at the Scharnhorst and Gneisenau by sending a nice fat task lead after. And I got an aircraft carrier. British have an aircraft carrier here, and it might be wise to bring him into the action right now, but I think we got to, good gravy. What we got going here? And the solitaire scenarios never look like that, I can tell you. But let's try a few searches and see where we're at after that, and maybe we'll bring him up. And now I'm looking at it. I probably should have brought my convoy into the action as well. Yeah, I guess that oversight. Oh well, let's just go with it. Let's just go with what we got here. So I'm going to start with a naval search. I'm going to see if we can't pin down the Graf. And start there. Here we go. And of course, when I set up all that stuff, and I guess that is the drawback of going two-player solitaire, is a whole bunch of, oh, I should have done that instead. Yeah, but let's get on with it. Here we go. A naval search for the Graf Spee. 2 dice on the final column of the 16 column. Oh, whew, that's the way to start a Navy search. We got a nice shattering result there, which is going to drop this entire trajectory down to 3. That's a whittle away. Okay. The French task force is, how fast are they? Oh, they're fast. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and they're already close to on top of them. Germans will attempt to seize the initiative. They need a 9. And miles away. Okay. And since we've got them well in hand, I say we go ahead and the French fleet will attempt again to find these guys. Not so fast. Let's get this task force in on the action as well. And that's what that looks like. And here we have a very powerful situation for the British. This will be the active task force. This will be the coordinating task force. And because it has an undamaged aircraft carrier, it will also provide the air support for this search. That's a +5 modifier to this Navy search. We have to use the long one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 will be the column that we're shooting on. But whoa, I have seen some commentary that the air is just a little too powerful in this game. I don't know. We'll check it out. But anyway, getting ready for a monster +5 roll on this 5 to 9 column. And, well, they rolled low, so doesn't help if we roll low. Okay, so that's a 4 + 5 would be 9, which would put it on contact shadowing. Okay. Oh, interesting. And because it's only 3, it does get a contact marker right here, the Graf Spee. But because they got a shattering result and there's only 3 in there, I kind of neglected that, didn't I? I didn't expect that roll to come up. But that means the Graf Spee actually gets an evasive maneuver marker. First, let's time-lapse these guys. Looks like that. And the Germans again go for a what do you call it? Seize initiative roll, and you can bet they're sweet bippy. They're going to go ahead and spend that evasive maneuvers marker to add +1 to the die roll for a +2 to this seize initiative roll. Otherwise, they're in a lot of trouble. That is a 6, 7, 8 is not enough. Oh, and we may be looking at the graph being caught. So. And you can bet the British that they are going to take the same action again. This time, that's the same column because they weren't able to reduce the trajectory anymore. But now because there's a contact marker, we're looking at a +7 on this Navy search here. All right, and here it goes. 7 + 7 would be 14. Okay, that is a contact station skirmish. So there's going to be a 1-round battle here. First thing that happens in an advanced battle, which we will use, for battles against convoys, I may just use the simple rules, because those are kind of boring. But, snafu check, always start. A 7 is going to be good visibility, which will make the battle last an extra round. That's not good for the graph. I had to reacquaint myself with the advanced battle rules here. Technically, a skirmish is only supposed to last 1 round, but depending on how the good visibility is going to add another one. But it could go as many as 3, depending on the attitude of the ships. But anyway, here we are with French ships chasing the Graf Spee, both at far distances, and actually, in the first round, there's not much to talk about as far as attitude and all that because it's automatically set, and I've chosen the Graf Spee to go start running. I think he can start in smoke. I may do that. Yes, he can, and he will. This is about survival for him, rather than trying to slug it out with a battle cruiser and 2 lights. He might be able to give what for, but probably not going to push it. I'm going to fire with the Dunkirk first. He has a modifier of his long range at +2, but he's firing at someone in smoke. That's going to amount to a +1. This is extreme range. So 3 dice, keeping the 2 lowest. So you got to roll very well to hit. And the 2 lowest are those 3. That would be 4. That will be a splash. So no go. The 2 light cruisers will fire, starting with the Montcalm at a -1. And, well, 2, 6, 5, nothing. And finally the G, what is that? Legue? Again, at a -1. Uh-oh. 5 and 5, -1. So that's a 10. And so that would be a 9, which is just a straight up hit, which will damage him, but we're not going to apply the damage yet because he still gets to fire back before it's applied. And so, ooh, man, damaged already. There's some points already gone. The Graf Spee fires extreme range. Well, I only get points if I'm not going to get any points for any of these unless I sink the Dunkirk, which the Graf Spee is not going to be able to do. But I guess I'll just try to put a hit on it, and maybe the Charnosh and the Gneisenau can catch up later and put them down. But that's really where my shot's going to go. The modifier is 0 due to firing out of the smoke, and again, it is 3 dice. And it's a 6, which is going to be a splash, so no go. So, the damage applies now, and this guy is damaged. And now he's slow, not so hot. And the British have already earned their first point there for damaging a ship other than a battlecruiser. And in the maneuver phase, he's, going to keep running. Meanwhile, these guys are going to move up into the near zone. Gensel's not going to apply to anything here, so we're not going to worry about him. The Graf Spee is going to attempt to break away. Now he gets a plus, he needs a 9. He gets a +2 to the die roll for being in the far zone, but -1 for enemy ships in near or close. -1, they're closing, and the closing enemy ships are faster, so that's a -3. So we're looking at a -1 to this die roll, so he's going to need a big roll to get away. And which doesn't happen. Okay, so we are going to have another round of battle. Round 2. So first stage is attitude. He's gonna keep running in smoke. These guys, however, I'm gonna go. Dunkirk is gonna get into acquiring, and so with the Montcalm, I'm gonna leave this one guy closing just in case something weird happens in the fire section. But we move on to gunnery, and so we have, we're now firing at long range, which is just 2 dice, and +2 for the Dunkirk's guns, -1 for the smoke, but it's for +1, but it's a slow target now. And so that is going to be a +1 for a +2 on this 2D die roll. Let's see. Fire. 6, 7, 8 on the acquiring table is another hit. Ouch. Now we have the Montcalm. Has no modifiers. Ship is slow, but when you cancel out the smoke, that's going to be a straight die roll, 2D. Let me see if I got that correct. Yeah, that's correct. 2D. A 7 is in acquiring, is another hit. Guess what? The Graf Spee, well, it's going to get a parting shot at a -1. A -1. An 8, a 7 in closing is just going to be a splash, but down she goes. Blub, 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 blub. And there you have it. The Graf Spee goes to the bottom of the ocean. The British just absolutely, well, it's a combination with the French, so it's got a little oh, wait a minute. That's not right. What's the French one? Okay, there we go. Sorry. Yeah, whatever. Lots of jolly cooperation. And, wow, they really pounced on them. We'll stop there. And it looks like, well, the score is 2-0 in favor of the British. The only hope now is for the Scharnhorst and the Gneisenau to put a bunch of hits on these convoys. Sinking big warships is probably not in the cards, so they need to do some hits and then get out. So, leave in the comments what you thought of that little exercise there. Did you see a strategy the Germans could have done a little better? Or is it just, you know, bad, just a bad situation all around? Let me know what you think, but thanks for watching.